Hello everyone and welcome to Academic Sınavlar. In this short tutorial lesson, we will take a look at one of the essential grammatical rules that can help you improve your score in IELTS, especially in writing task 1 that includes numbers, data, and charts. In writing task 1 particularly, you have to compare items and give information about differences and changes. However, academically, giving facts requires precision. That is why using basic comparative structures may not seem a perfect choice. In the present study, I will show you how to precisely elaborate differences, and in our following lesson, I will discuss how to paraphrase numbers and percentages in IELTS writing to improve your score. Let's take a look at this chart to compare the US dollar with two other currencies. Bar charts like this are one of the diagrams represented as writing task in IELTS. Here, as you can see, it compares currency values of US dollar, the Canada dollar, and the yen. If we consider valuable as our adjective, you know that a basic comparison can be as follows. The US dollar is more valuable than the Canada dollar. The US dollar is more valuable than the yen. What do you think if I say, however, these two sentences, despite being grammatically correct, do not give precise information because, as the chart shows, the difference between the US dollar and the Canada dollar is not the same as the difference between the US dollar and the yen. Therefore, we need some other words to show this difference. Please focus on these words and try to categorize them into two groups of a big difference and a small difference, and you will have 45 seconds before the answer is revealed. Now, let's check your answers. Did you guess them correctly? For a big difference, we have considerably, far, a lot, way, much, and a great deal. While for a small difference, we can use slightly, a bit, a little, somewhat, not much, a touch, or marginally. So, what is the role of these words? These words are adverbs, which are used as modifiers to make stronger or weaker comparisons. Getting familiar with these adverbs, let's move on to make much better sentences. We have the same chart here and the same basic sentences. Using the modifiers in blue, you have 30 seconds to fill in the blanks. Now let's check your answers. Since the difference was noticeable between the Canada dollar and the US dollar, we used the ones to demonstrate that noticeable difference, whereas in the second sentence, other modifiers are used to show that the difference between these two currencies was not considerable. Up to here, we just talked about the cases in which there are differences. But what if we face similar data? As what you can see about lira and peso, each with the value of 1. Sentences such as the value of lira equals that of the peso, or the lira and the peso have equal values are true examples, but not very academic. Also, using a negative comparative structure can be beneficial to make better sentences, like the peso is no more valuable than the lira, or the peso isn't any more valuable than the lira. However, to show the exact similarity, it is better to use a structure as follows. The peso is just as valuable as the lira. You have to keep in mind that this structure does not only represent similarities, but also you can show small and big differences with it. For example, you can see that the difference between the lira and the yen is just 0.3, which is too small. So a sentence like, the lira is almost, nearly, about, or just about as valuable as the yen can be a nice one to write. Nearly, almost, about, and just about show a negligible difference. Up to here, using as structure, we showed similarity and marginal difference. But here the question is whether it is possible to show a big difference with this structure. The answer is yes. Although a sentence like the peso is not as valuable as the US dollar is correct, it cannot show the extent of the difference. A better word, such as nowhere near, can show the large difference between the peso and the US dollar more precisely. It is recommended to make creative sentences. For example, by playing with numbers. It is crystal clear that the value of the US dollar equals the value of the peso multiplied by 8. So a sentence like, the US dollar is 8 times as valuable as the peso enhances structure variety of your writing. And that is how we can show differences more academically by using as structure. Do not forget to follow us on social networks and our website to benefit from the latest educational materials and free services. This is Academic Sınavlar. Keep in touch.